Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weighted to Win. It's great to have you all with us on the Weighted to Win show. Can you believe it's already what is this? Episode 12, guys. Am I right?
We're moving along swiftly, Clyde.
Moving along
Hopefully
swiftly.
we've got bigger and better things to come.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, DARYN, 3 months already now we've been doing. I mean, that's right, isn't it? 12 weeks.
Yes, it's about, it must be about 3 months. I think it's 12 or 13 episodes. And yeah, it's going well.
Good. Well, yeah, as we said before, interesting discussions are ongoing with regards to the show. And I'm glad that it's gathering momentum and that more people are taking interested and more serious folk are taking interest in the show, which is good to know. So let me ask you, DARYN, with the weather, because I know it's your second leg of the winter series tomorrow. I believe it hasn't been great weather-wise in the Western Cape.
Not at all. There's been a lot of rain. The past couple of days, it's been belting down. And today seems to have cleared up since afternoon onwards. So the penetrometer, I'm sure it will be 28 plus. So yeah, you're going to have to take that into consideration when studying the race card.
Okay. That's good to know. Thanks for that. And whilst we're on the note of making reference to certain matters, DARYN and to DARYL, I mean, you guys, the double Puerto Manzano and Women of Substance, I mean, that was a 5-6 to 1 double last Friday. That was very, very well done. So I must congratulate you both. Well done on that.
Yeah, thanks, Clyde. We're heading into this meeting on a high, obviously from last weekend. So let's hope we can continue in that rich vein of form.
You have and always will be. Of that, I have no doubt. Okay, I'm going to, if I may, with regards to the Turffontein meeting, this is the meeting that we're going to preview, is the Turffontein meet, is to show you the scratching. So let me do that with you guys quickly. That's what we've got for those viewers that haven't had a look at it. As you can see on the time, this is when we record the show. It's around 10 to 5, as at 16:50 or thereabouts on a Friday night. And those are the scratchings for you just to quickly take down. You'll notice from a pick 6 perspective, they've taken out race 4, number 1. That's gone. In race 6, number 5 is out. And in race 8, number 6, that one's also out. So that's as far as scratchings are concerned for the pick 6. I can tell you that there's going to be a 10-meter spur, if I read it correctly, a 10-meter spur in as far as the false rail is concerned. And I know you've heard me say it before, but with a 10-meter spur, they will come wide when they turn for home. The start of the pick 6 is the Tab Telebet maiden juvenile plate fillies, and it's over 1,400 meters. And here, number 2, Bold Act is the favorite at 22 to 10. 10 Wakonda is the second choice, who's trading at 3 to 1. 3 Coral Dawn is at 4 to 1. 8 Northern Glow is 6 to 1. And then the 9 Tinder Dry is at 7 to 1. It is 10 to 1 and better about the others. So let's start with Bold Act. I mean, Mike de Kock, from what I looked at when I looked at the card originally, for me, Mike de Kock's got a very strong hand on Saturday. Let me start with you, DARYL.
Okay. Well, I see the race between Coral Dawn and Bold Act. Bold Act, she was drawn 12 out of 12 last time out on the classic track, and she made a very good late run, but I'm just worried about the quality of that field that day. So my value bid on the card is going to be Coral Dawn. Running second last time on the Turffontein inner track. She was staying on nicely towards the finish behind Freedom of Choice, who came out to win next time out. And the third horse, a couple of lengths behind her, was Look Yourself, I think it is. Yes, Look Yourself, who came out to win as well. So on the strength of her form, I think Coral Dawn is the value in the race at around 4 to 1. Over a horse like Bold Act, Wakonda, and then Northern Glow that actually got beat a couple of lengths by Look Yourself, shouldn't be able to beat the likes of Coral Dawn. But we have included the top 4 in the betting into the pick 6.
Okay, DARYL, then just on what DARYN is saying about a horse like Coral Dawn, I mean, it's not only his last start where the form line's strong, it seems like his previous start, the form line was strong as well.
Yeah, Clyde, and she made good improvements in her second start. She built on that debut run. And what I liked about that is Warren Kennedy rode an absolute pearl on that occasion. He made them crawl up front, and then he sprinted for home. And of the balance of the field, she was the only one making eye-catching progress towards the latter end of the race. So she certainly caught the eye on that occasion, and like Darren touched on, the form line has been franked. Bold Act, you have to respect, because there was a lot of money for her, more so trade on Interbet for her on debut. So she was fancied to run a forward race, and she did just that. I think if you actually switch those draws on debut, she would have pulverized that lot. If you just switch the draw with her or the second horse, and you would have seen a different result on that occasion. You have to respect her chances. And then Wakanda, she also made good progress in her second start. I think we saw Aragosta from the Mark de Kock win from that form line. The only thing with the Sean Terry, he's just bubbling under the surface. He's not firing at this stage. So that is a worry, because his stable's not exactly where his high standards would like them to be. So once he turns the corner, you can follow the stable in confidence. But I think Darren's touched on the right one. Coral Dawn is certainly the horse to beat.
Okay, so we said in the first leg, as far as the first leg of the pick six is concerned, we're going to go a few runners in the race, and so we'll cover up there. So there's a lot of confidence about Coral Dawn, but Bold Act is probably a worthy favourite, as you heard from the guys there too. So going to be an interesting race. And of course, Michael Azzi, I think, has been very good form, and there's some got a very good draw, that horse as well, from the Azzi stable. That horse, I believe, Northern Glow, drawn inside. So Manga Kamala can do nothing wrong at the moment. So just watch out for that yard too. Let's go to the jackpot now. First leg, race 5, which is the Racing Association Maiden Plate. And here, number 9, Twice the Trip, is the favourite, and that trades at around 16 to 10. 6, Icy Night, is the second choice. Gavin Larena rides that for Paul Peter, is an unraced filly. Number 1, Pick a Lily, is at 9 to 2. And then you've got 2, Zulu War Cry, who's at 9 to 2, 14 to 1, and better about the others. So I'll go to Daryl Maree now. I mean, Paul Peter's been also, I mean, there's a stable that's been in really good form. I mean, they run a lot of horses, and a lot of them win.
Yeah, Clyde, and let's be honest, this filly by What a Winter doesn't have to be too special to put a field like this to bed, because the form on offer over here is moderate, to say the least. I think her biggest danger will be the other 2-year-old, the top one in the betting, and that's Twice a Trip. In her penultimate starts, I think things went all wrong at the gate, so you can excuse that performance. Then she went down to Durban. I think the 4th and the 6th horses, placed horses on that occasion, have come out to run second in their next start. Not the strongest of form, but it's also not the weakest. So you have to respect her chance, and what's on her side is she's got the racing experience under her belt. But I think in time to come, Icy Night may well be a division or 2 above her. Let's just watch the betting on Icy Night, Clyde, because there are some big firers in partnership over here. And what's best is just watch the trade on Interbet, because that will certainly distinguish her whether she's fancied or not. I think if you get a region of about 400,000 or 500,000 traded on this filly, you can take poison that she's fancied very, very strongly. Rather take the shorter odds, knowing that she's fancied to kill, than jump in now and you don't know, you're basically in the blind. Okay. But I do believe those two will fight it out, even if RC Knight isn't fancied very strongly, because the others are very, very poor, in my opinion. They're exposed and they're not going to Hollywood. They've got their work cut out. What about
Darren, about the apprentice claim on the one horse Pick a Lily, 4 kilos coming off her back? She's only got the 56 to carry now. She hasn't been that far back, albeit perhaps moderate to date. Could she be a threat to the top 2?
There is a chance. She is drawn on the stand side of the course. You got to follow the high draws up the straight. It does favour them, and the 4 kilos off her back. The last time over the 1160, she went handy, and she was just about leading going through the 400, and she got run out of it. But there has been a winner from that form line. We're not excluding her from the pick 6. We are including her. Okay. The obvious horse to beat is Twice the Trip. She ran second in a big field at Scottsville. And Garth Puller actually had a very strongly fancied first timer in the race that she actually beat home. And Duncan Howells also had a horse in the race, I think, that ran third or fourth, that they also think quite highly of. So that field wasn't the weakest, and she does have the strongest form in the race. And then we've included the first timer Icy Night, a nice pedigree, speedy pedigree. So we've gone 1, 6, and 9 in the pick 6 just to be safe.
Okay, well, that will be, of course, the second leg of the jackpot as well, race number 5 in the card, as we move away from that now and we go on to the next, so we're middle stages of the event. And we will simply show you the 6th race market and take a look at what Interbet got up at the moment, where Vasim is the short price favorite of the day, is at 5 to 10, 9 to 20, just a fraction under 5 to 10. 1 Vasim. Number 2, Caroluma, 28 to 10. Number 4 on the card raise, the Red Lantern, is 9 to 2 and 12 to 1, and bet you about the others. There are, as you would have seen earlier, 2 scratchings. 5 and 6 are both not running in this race. You can take them out. And I guess he's Vasim in this particular graduation plate. If you have a look at that, whilst he's up against a horse like Caroluna in terms of the ratings, and you have a look at your best weighted options, he does look like he's now ready to win again, does he not, Darren?
Yes, definitely. He's had the 2 runs for Roy Magna, and they were both very good efforts. And if you see his rating, I mean, he ran up to 111 previously. His ratings dropped down to a 94, and it's his 3rd run after the rest. I like the fact that they've taken the blinkers off, as he likes to settle off the pace, and he comes with a late run. He is drawn nicely towards the stand side, and he'll take a lot of beating under these conditions. If people are playing wider, you can go 1 and 2, but for me, I think it's a safe banker Vasim over Caroluma to run 2nd. The rest of the field have quite a lot to do at the weights. Okay,
so that's your play, Vasim. Daryl, you also in Vasim's corner?
Absolutely, Clyde. I like the fact that they have tried him over the 7 furlongs, and he certainly wasn't disgraced on those occasions. And last time out, over 5 furlong with the blinkers, I think he's a better 6 furlong horse now. I think he'll take a lot of beating. In saying that, Caroluma is the highest rated and best weighted filly in the race, or runners in the race. She did earn a rating over 7 furlongs, but we haven't really seen her at her best recently. I think you can ignore her runs over further. I don't believe she stays, but she's not going to give you a lot of confidence moving down to the starts. And I think let's go with the peak, the runner who's close to peak fitness and who will love the 6 furlongs. Vasim, I think he's a confident pick 6 banker. Take the exacta. I don't think anything else can trouble the judge over here.
Okay, race 7 is a Betting World handicap, and it's a handicap for fillies and mares. And you see handicap fillies and mares, and you immediately, take a step back. V. Moodley always told me, the moment you see fillies and mares handicap, go field. Don't even look further. Just go as wide as you can. But let's look at the market and see. I see they got a horse of 2 to 1, Anne Boylan from Paul Peters' yard, that Gavin Lorena's riding, drawn up the inside on Saturday. 8 Bella Black is the second choice at 7 to 2. 6 Moments Like This is 5 to 1. 3 All of Me is at 6 to 1. The 5 May Queens at 13 to 2, and the 1 Kayla's Champ is currently trading at 7 to 1. And then they got 17 to 2 about number 7 Spree. So as you can see, there are quite a few horses in the market. Pool Party is one of those that's in double figures at 16 to 1. Come back to you, Daryl Maree, about this particular race. Open event, wide as you can, or not necessarily?
Well, Clyde, firstly, I just want to say I wish we all had V. Moodley's budget, because then we could go field. But we're not in that bracket, so we have to narrow it down. I respect the top one. I respect the top one on the boards of the Anne Boleyn. She's at her highest rating now, so she's obviously still improving with racing. And Gavin gets on extremely well with her, but she is drawn towards the inside. But she's in good form. The form has been franked. We saw Kayla's Champ and Greens went from that form line. So healthy respect for Anne Boleyn. Bella Black, if you open the book, you'll say, oh, she's under sufferance. But Clyde, she actually ran well above her rating last time out when she was trying blinkers for the first time. She ran to an 84. So with 49 kilograms to shoulder, and she is a course and distance winner, she must be one for the shortlist. And then I like the Mark de Kock filly moments like this. I think last time out when she was returning from a rest, she just raced a little bit fresh and she was overdoing it around the bend. And I think back up the straights, she'll be able to settle and she'll be able to finish her race off instead of burning up energy in the early stages of the race. A real spook, Clyde, if you want to look for big roughy. Number 2, Pool Party. Now you can see she's finally back in a handicap and her rating has plummeted. So if you're really looking for the dog in the roughie in the pack, Pool Party is one that you might want to focus on. But I actually think moments like this could bounce back to her best form. Healthy respect for Anne Boleyn and Bella Black.
Okay. Now, I said at the beginning, I think Mike de Kock's got a very strong hand. You've got to watch that stable on Saturday. Darren, what do we do here in a race like this, with this fillies and mares handicap?
Well, we're definitely loading up. We're not taking any chances. Reason being the favourite Anne Boleyn, she's drawn down the inside, drawn 1 up the straight, and we've seen it in the past couple of weeks. The draws really favour the outside. So on that, we're playing to beat her. And Bella Black with 49 kilos, very good run with the blinkers last time, and must be a runner. Moments like this, she won first time out over the 1160. And then they tried her over the 1450 in her last 3 starts. So dropping back to the 1160, she can be a runner, and she's dropped 5 points in the ratings. And then another horse, Kayla's Champ, that run behind Anne Boleyn. She's 2.5 kilos better off for a length and 3/4 beating with the apprentice claiming. So that brings her into the race with a chance. And we've also thrown in Pool Party as her ratings drop from a 105 to a 95. Plus a 1.5 kilo claim. We've also thrown in All of Me at her best. She's had a lot of racing lately, but she can pop up. So we've gone, I think, 6 runners in the pick 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't blame you for doing that. It does seem to be quite a tough race. Hopefully, as we go along, you'll make it easier for all of us as we go on to the 8th race on the card now, which is the final leg of the jackpot, and have a look at that market quickly. And this is it's a handicap at the 80 level, and number 4, Good Queen Bess, is at 14 to 10. It's another Mike de Kock runner. 1, Sound of Summer, Paul Peters runner, is at 28 to 10. 8, Eskimo Pie is at 8 to 1. 3, Me Time is trading at 9 to 1. 6, Eurocent is also at 9 to 1. And then the 5, Namaqualand, is currently at 10 to 1. So, Darren, let me come to you and let's talk. I don't know. Do we start with the favourite? I mean, she's had a 1 run. She won impressively. The form line seems very strong from what I can see. Maybe not the best draws to contend with here, but nevertheless, she seemed to have won a solid race first time out.
Yes, definitely. We did expect her to win. That day, we still said that she doesn't have to be too good to win. And she did win in style. There has been winners out of that race, but I'm still a little bit skeptic of that form line, even though there's been winners. I think she's got to step up her game a little bit here. And the 10 draw is not going to be easy. She's going to have it all to do. She doesn't want to get trapped wide. So I'm not sure what the tactics are going to be from that draw. She must be a runner, but 14 to 10 looks a little bit too short for me. The other horse to consider, Sound of Summer. I would have preferred this horse over slightly further. He's a Silvano out of a King Mamba mare. He went the mile last time. He did stay on steadily, and that dropped him back to 1400. But on his form, he must be competitive. And then the dark horse in the race is Namaqualand. I see Lyle Hewittson's opted to ride Eskimo Pie, but I believe that Namaqualand is the better one of the 2. He has got a slightly wide draw to contend with, but his ratings come down from an 81 to a 75. And I feel that this horse, you haven't seen the best of him yet. He's disappointed on a couple of occasions, but his last run was a much better run. And I do believe that he can be very competitive at a decent price.
Well, you know, when you guys make reference to your value bets and best bets in order, I make an effort to phone some of the trainers. I phoned Sean Terry just to ask him about what's the story with Namaqualand? You know, you'll know he was in your province for a while in Namaqualand, and unfortunately things went wrong. And after he had come back from Cape Town, you'll notice there was quite a long rest. I think he was off for, what was it, a year or so, or thereabouts, just about. And Sean did say that, listen, they rated this horse, they expected more from him. So as disappointed as you are, they are of him too. So the point is that he does have ability. So you might be onto something there with Namaqualand. Daryl, what's your take on it?
Yeah, Clyde, I'm very, very surprised to see this favorite trading. Well, she's not really trading at this price, but being priced up so short in the betting. Like on paper, the form line's been frank, but you have to take into consideration why it's been frank, because I think the second horse beat a very, very poor field at the Vaal, Veranova, and then Paul Peter's filly went to Durban Dragon Queen, I think, and she beat a very moderate field as well. So you can't read too much into strictly saying the form line has been frank, because she has to step up big time. She's taking on some hard knockers of year. Number one, Sound of Summer. The form line, his form line hasn't worked out at all in his last start. But what I really like about him is he was off the bet a long way from home, and it actually looked like he was going out the back door. But he's so gutsy, and he just fought on, and it's amazing that he actually finished up in second place. I think it takes a hard ride, and who else you want in the saddle than Simonga Kamalo to get him to roll early. I think that now that he's on the stand-side track, you'll see a different horse. I respect the chances of Eskimo Pie. I think he's 1.5 kilograms better off with Sound of Summer. And I like that now that they've finally figured out how to ride him, they're getting the best out of him. Last time out, he moved up very, very well, possibly too well, up the middle of the track, and he just petered out towards the end. I think with a more patient ride, he might get there late, and he's certainly one for the shortlist. And then Namaqualand, I think if they've sorted out his breathing issues, of this current rating that he's racing off, he's certainly in with a big, big shot of the year. So I think the race lies between the 1, the 5, and the 8. I'm very surprised to see the Mark de Kock filly this short in the betting.
Yeah, okay, well, that's interesting. She's not going to be that price for much longer, I would assume, once the show goes to air. But listen, I hear what you're saying, and I think one's just got to be cautious to the extent that these type of horses, they come on in leaps and bounds. Yes, we expected her to win first time out, and she did. She never let us down. But they're the type of horses that continue to improve. So I would recommend that you watch it very, very closely. And I hear what you're saying. We can't maybe depend on her, but she could be a very, very good improver. The 9th race on the card, let's take a look at this, guys, and have a look at the final leg of the pick 6. And here you've got number 6, Power Ranger, which is interesting. It's another Mike de Kock horse. It's a first-timer. Muzi Yeni's riding him. He's a Silvano. Mike de Kock's got some beautifully bred horses running on the day. 22-10 favorite. 8 Tuscan Winter, number 8, is second choice at 28-10. Number 1, Swing the Willow, 7-2. 3, Jet Cat, 6-1. And then you've got 12-1 and better about the others. So, right, let me, we left with Daryl last time. He ended, let him start the last leg of the pick 6 here. I don't know, Daryl. I unfortunately haven't got any information about this baby, the Mike de Kock first time a Power Ranger. I don't know if you've heard anything. Drawn on the right side of the track. And what you make of it.
I'm keen to hear what Sean Terry said, Clyde. If you possibly touched on that.
Of course, I can tell you what Sean Terry said. He said, look, the stable hasn't, as you quite rightly pointed out at the outset of the show, hasn't gone exactly according to plan. The last couple of meetings, they stepped out a couple of good horses, as in sorts that they thought had big chances and were let down. And so that's where he's cautious. Otherwise, he gives the horse a chance, a big chance. But he's just a bit worried about the yard at the moment, If it wasn't for that...
I just want to go back to the previous race. I certainly won't be shocked to see her win. But looking at the betting structure, do I think there's value in her current price? I don't. So for that reason, we're trying to beat her. There's certainly, she's got to come on, look about her, and if she trots up, I won't be shocked at all. Back to the ninth race.
You're talking about the Mike de Kock favorite in the previous race?
Yes, that's a good clean base.
Okay.
Back to the ninth race, we've got another Mark de Kock first time of year, Power Ranger. Now, interesting of year, he's a full brother to the Sean Terry's Pyromaniac. He's unbeaten. He's 2 from 2. And they're very surprised to see him winning over the distances that he has been, because he's bred to go a classic distance, 10 furlongs. I think that the dam won the Oaks, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Pine Princess, yeah.
Yes.
So let's see. I don't know if he's as precocious as his brother, because he's a year older and he's only debuting now. So in the back of my mind, I think they may be 2 different animals of year. I don't think you can compare the 2. So for that reason only, I'm looking at number 1, Swing the Willow. Now, last time out, he did he improved with the tongue tie, and I think he put 3 lengths between him and the 3rd place runner. So there was a distance between them. And the Paul Peter horse that beat him, Global Ransom, ran yesterday at the Vaal in his handicap debut. And he went down a short hair, Clyde. He nearly followed up on that victory. So that form is strong enough, in my opinion, to beat the likes of the 8 Tuscan Winter. Now, who brings Piccalilli's form line in? And if you look at that form line, then there was also, I think, that ran 4th in that race.
Yes.
Who had finished 15 lengths and 14 lengths behind in their first 2 starts. So I don't believe that is strong form. But he was finishing at the end of the race. He was finishing his race off. So he will like a step up in trip. But I'm worried about the strength of that form line. So for that reason only, I'm going with the Swing with the Willow as one of my better bets on the card. But if there's a lot of support for Power Ranger, I might just half my bet.
Okay, so we've got to watch and see what happens. I'm sure by the time racing starts, there'll be more information around about Power Ranger, etc. Swing the Willow has seemingly, from what Daryl's saying, got the strongest form in the race, and that's why he's making it his best bet on the card. Darren, what's your take on this? Swing the Willow?
Well, Swing the Willow, to me, does stand out as the strongest form in the race. Reason being that run to Global Ransom, and Global Ransom followed that up with a very good run in a handicap. So of the racehorses, I do believe that Swing the Willow is the horse to beat. The first timer Power Ranger, beautifully bred. If he's got a touch of class about him, he can pop up over the 1160. And I see he is 22 to 10 in the market. I've tried to get some confidence from a friend of mine, but they were unable to get hold of the stable. So we don't know too much about this runner. We have included him into the pick 6. Another one, Tuscan Winter, stayed on well late, and over the 1160, I do believe that he can improve. We've thrown in Jet Cat. He's had plenty chances, but we don't want to go out the last leg of the pick 6. So we've included him as well as Strong Casher number 2. But of the racehorses, Swing the Willow does look the value. And then the first time, we just have to follow the market closely.
Yeah. In the pick 6, what did we do? We added the first timer at the back, so that if the first timer happens to win and Swing the Willow runs second, you double up in the pick 6, right?
That's correct.
Have we played it that way? Okay, excellent. All right, that means we can now have a look at what you guys have put together for us in terms of the best bets and what you normally do with regards to pick 6s and all of that sort of stuff, and take our viewers through that very quickly, if we may, and share that with everybody. We'll start, of course, with the Turffontein pick 6 as a Friday evening. First leg, we're going 2, 3, 8, and 10. Second leg, 1, 6, and 9. We're bankering the odds on horse that Vasimos in the third leg, number 1. Then we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. We follow that by 1, 4, 5, 8, and 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8 at the back. It's an 1,800 Rand perm, but it all depends on what you can afford and what you want to spend. Remember that there's a best bet lying in there, but there's a possibility we might be able to double up if things work out according to plan. If not, well, then we've got the cover. Okay, the buy pot, what we've got for you, there's been some requests for a buy pot play on the weekend Saturday, and first leg we're going 1 and 6, which, if I recall correctly, are both first timers. Am I right?
That's correct, Chase.
Second leg 2, 5, 7. Third leg 2 and 3. Fourth leg 1, 6, and 9. Then we're bankering the 1, and the last leg 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. and that's a 180 Rand perm. And if you haven't got that kind of money, well, again, there's a percentage fraction that you can choose. Right, Daryl, over to you.
Yeah, Clyde, I'm a little bit in the corner of here because I'd just love to know that if the Mark de Kock first timer has got enough ability to win up the straight like his full brother. But if he's expected to improve with the run, I think Swing with a Willow brings the strongest form into the race and will take some beating. I think he still represents some value at 7-2. So we're gaining blind over here, but of the race runners, we have to be in his corner.
Yeah, I've got to ask you the question. I mean, if I understand, now we've seen first timers much shorter than this, right? We've seen horses come out at 8 to 10, 12 to 10, 15 to 10. So I wonder if this horse wouldn't be shorter if they were expecting a massive run. I mean, I'm speaking out of the blue and out of the turn. I don't know. But I've seen in the past, when they fancy, there seems to be some interest already on the Friday afternoon.
Yeah, betting, some firms price up as early as Wednesday. And most go out on the Thursday. One would have expected a flood of money to be put on the horse if he was really working the house down back home.
That's my point.
Yeah, so based on the current betting structure, I think we're in with a big shot of the Clyde.
Okay, great. Let's go to Darren. Darren, over to you.
Yeah, so my best bet is going to be Vaseem. He's restrictive odds at around 9 to 20, 5 to 10, but he is the best bet on the card. My value bet, I see decent value with Coral Dawn. I was really impressed with the last run and the strength of that form line. And then the dark horse on the card is Namaqualand. I think this kind of race, he's in with a decent shot at a big price.
Okay, excellent. And that's the play of the day. Remember, again, your Friday night, that's when we come to you as early as we can on a Friday evening, and we let it roll and run so you guys can watch as and when you please. And hopefully we're able to get you once again into the winning queue. Weighted to Win on YouTube, where winning is everything. Thanks once again very much to my colleagues, my friends, Darren and Daryl. And I hope that you'll be in good form this weekend as you were last weekend. Daryl, we hope holding thumbs for you and Darren.
Enjoy your evening, Clyde. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Darren. All the best. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.